Well, hello, everybody. Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to be here. And one of the things I love is looking in the audience. I see a mixture of both men and women. My primary audience, my ideal client is typically female. So it's always great to get up in front of an audience that is both male and female and get that balance of perspective. So I'm going to look at you all again really quickly before I turn on my presentation. How many of you have a TikTok account? I see 2. Are there more people here? Okay, I see 2. Okay. Do you post to your TikTok account or do you mainly watch TikTok? You post, but not as frequently as you would like. Okay. And Holly's like, no, ma'am, I'm not posting. No, ma'am, not me. Look at her. She's breathing heavily, just thinking about it. Okay, well, we will definitely go through, because if you're like me, I had heard for the longest time, and from someone who mentors me from afar, or Gary Vaynerchuk, talk about TikTok, and everybody needs to be on TikTok. And for the longest, I was like, I love you, Gary, but I am not with the whole TikTok thing, you know. But also remember, way back when, I also didn't want to be on Facebook because I thought LinkedIn was MySpace, because not MySpace, but it was where I belonged, where I fit in, because I'm like, my kids have Facebook. I don't think I'm supposed to be on Facebook. And my friend was like, no, Tamara, you'll love it. Everybody's on there. And I got on there, and that was 2009. And long story short, short story long, I now teach Facebook marketing, and, you know, I have hundreds of students who've taken my courses, people who've coached with me, all about Facebook marketing. And so we'll get a little bit into my background, but like I said, when I first heard people talking about TikTok, I'm like, first of all, that's where like my grandchildren would be. Second of all, they dance, and I have 2 left feet. Like, dancing is not my ministry. That is not my gift. So I think I'm gonna pass on that. But then I finally got on there, and I fell in love, and I got in the trenches of watching the videos, because that's the thing with TikTok. It will pull you in, and then you are down a rabbit hole watching all kinds of videos. So that really got me to thinking, like, wow, this TikTok is kind of cool in that you can really literally capture people's attention, because they're in this 9:16 frame and there's no other distraction. It's one video at a time, and it's short form content. So one last thing before I go into sharing my slides. Who are the dancers here? Who wants to dance on TikTok? Nobody, right? Absolutely no one, other than 16, 17, 18-year-olds. The rest of us, especially, you know, for those of us who are professionals and we have letters after our name and we've spent all this money and time, like, dancing, like, are you serious? Like, no, I'm not going to do that. So I am here to prove to you and show you that you do not have to dance to have a successful TikTok account. And one last thing before we move into the presentation, please understand, we're talking TikTok, right? But what we're talking applies to Instagram Reels, it applies to YouTube Shorts, and it also applies to Instagram Stories, as well as Pinterest and Pin Ideas, okay? So it really all falls under micro video, but TikTok really gets the credit for all of us really needing to focus on micro video. And by the end of this presentation, you will understand why you either need to have a TikTok and a TikTok presence, or at least be listening on TikTok to know what to be doing with your social media. So pardon me while I share the screen here. Gotta hit the share screen button first. And can you see that? Do you see my slides okay? Holly is giving me a yes. We're thumbs up on the slides. Okay, awesome. So I wanted to make this a fun presentation because that's the number one thing that people go to TikTok for, is they want fun. They want entertaining. But don't think that that means that you as an attorney, a divorce professional, can't bring the fun to TikTok. I'm going to give you some ideas on how to do that. As we've discussed, my name is Tamara Hamilton. I have 30 plus years of Hello? I think someone's background is going. Okay, I think we're good. No, that's okay. So what we're going to cover today is why video is so important. We're going to go over the 4 functions of social media marketing, and we're going to go over what to look for and how to kind of self-audit yourself, and some simple strategies that don't require dancing. Okay, so first, about me, I like to call myself a marketing prodigy because I have 30 years of proven experience in sales, marketing, and leading high-performing teams. You know, I'm not going to say I look 30, but it was said on the call before everybody got on here. So that's where the whole marketing prodigy comes in, because I was merely 18 years old when I first sat in the marketing suite of a very well-known companies that has products that most of you probably have in your home or have had at some point, especially if you live somewhere with mosquitoes, and I'll leave it at that. I like to call myself the Chief Engagement Officer. I am what I call a full stack marketer. That means I know a lot about a few different subject areas, so I'm not just honed in on one, kind of like a generalist. If you go to the doctor or use a medical analogy, I'm kind of like a generalist. I know a lot of different realms of this digital marketing space, and I've been certified. I've got masters and bachelors, and I've been featured all over the place, all kinds of podcasts and blogs and that. And I have 2 adult children who turned 30 this year, and the youngest one just turned 25 8 days ago. So I like to say I have a 300-month-old, because that's what everybody does online. They all, you know, post their baby every month with how many months they are. And I have 2 gorgeous, the most gorgeous, my 2 favorite people in the world, my glam babies. What I also want to point out, that a lot of people will come on and they will talk to you about social media marketing. They will talk to you about all these things that they may not have necessarily done. I have been online since online longer than that. On Facebook since 2009, 2011 or 12 was when I got on Instagram. And 2013 was when I actually began a business online. And in that time, I have amassed now upwards of close to 80,000 following across multiple social media. My digital marketing has allowed me to create a multiple 6-figure personal brand, where I not only was a former trainer for a high profile cosmetics company. Like I said, I've developed my own brand and courses and workshops because of the success that I have had online, selling not only events, selling my own digital products, as well as selling affiliate products through direct sales and affiliate marketing. So I didn't just study this. You're in good hands. I've actually practiced it and continue to practice it and hone and refine my skill and keep up to date. Here's where you can find me on social media. My name is where just search for my name and you will definitely find me. But my first and last name both on Twitter and Instagram, and just add marketing on the end on Facebook for this space. I do also have beauty brands and that out there, but I figured you didn't care about those. So let's talk about the power of a few seconds. So understand that, first of all, let me ask you, how long do you think the average attention span is right now, today, in this moment? Take a guess. You can shout it out. What was that? 8 seconds. Any other guesses? 10 seconds? 4 seconds, a minute. You guys are good. You guys, I should have known that you guys would know the answer. You're a bunch of attorneys, right? So it's somewhere between 6 and 8 seconds. So like a goldfish has more attention span than most of us today, right? One of the things I personally struggle with building a brand online and being on the social medias is I feel like I now have adult onset ADHD because all the alerts and everything are flying at you. And you know, I will find, even if I'm watching a video that's longer than a minute, I start, and if it's not holding my attention, I gotta swipe and move on to something else. And that's the power of a few seconds, you know. And it's like they say, a picture tells 1,000 words. Well, a video can tell 1,000,000, right? Because the human mind processes thousands of images per second, and being able to get your message across in just a few seconds is very, very powerful, and it's lasting. If you choose it, those few seconds wisely, those few seconds will play over and over and over in someone's head. And on TikTok, they might just watch it over and over and over again. So let's go through some very interesting TikTok statistics. There's 1 billion monthly active users. A lot of people think it's just kids. The largest audience is actually between the ages of 18 and 24. However, I will tell you, we all know what happened in March of 2020, and that's when a flood of Gen X and age 50 plus users flocked to TikTok. And that's when I became the most active on TikTok, was during that time. Okay, so 2 of the fastest growing segments on TikTok right now are your Gen Xers, and even your elder millennials and upwards of 50 and higher. And 80 million of its users are located in the United States. Okay, 60% of users visit TikTok for funny or entertaining videos. They are on TikTok daily, multiple times a day, and most watch 24 hours of video a month on TikTok. That is a full day. A full day, okay? So if you want to get in front of these people that are on TikTok, the song matters, okay? Because 68% of users say they remember a brand better if they use a song that they like. And all of these statistics are coming from sproutsocial.com. So anybody, any shock there? I like to be interactive. Anyone have any shock there? Any big aha there? Okay, sure. On TikTok, you can. On TikTok, you can, yes. If it's in their library, chances are you can use it. A lot of music stars are actually purposely putting their content on TikTok. And so it's becoming so that it's between the artist and their team and their label and the platform to license the music. And like YouTube will say it's only supposed to be for personal use if it's a short, but TikTok does not have that rule. If you use the creator account, that's a great question. So if you use the creator account, you can use that any music. If you do it as a business account, there's some music that you won't be able to use when you choose from the music library on TikTok. So that's a great question. Okay. No problem. So the first thing you want to do when it comes to micro video is you want to set your goals and intentions, okay? Now, when it comes to social media marketing, there are actually 4 functions of social media marketing. And so often, I think brands and marketers forget what those four, functions are. They are networking, listening, influencing, and selling. And now I've done hundreds, if not thousands, of audits on social media accounts, okay? And I usually will find, more often than not, an account will lean very heavily towards selling, and they will not be engaged in networking, listening, or influencing to a significant degree. In most cases, they lean towards selling. I want to let you know that, number one, there's no rule saying that it needs to be 25, 25, 25, and 25, or whatever number you want to come up with in your head. I will say that there's no hard and fast rule as to what it should be. It is up to you to determine what that goal should be, right? What the mix should be, whether it be 20, 30, 40, what am I up to, 80, and then 20. You come up with a mix of what percentage you want of each one. I will say this, as a professional, I would be remiss if I did not advise you to not be majority selling, okay? Because majority selling is going to be a turnoff on most platforms, because they are not selling media, they are social media, meaning it's more about being social. People don't log on to Facebook, for example, which now has Reels, to be sold to. They log on to Facebook to keep up with their friends and family and hear about their 300-month-olds, right? And so it's also going to, your goal and intention is going to depend on where you are as a business and a brand, and what you hope to achieve and get from your social media efforts. Now, you may say, I'm fairly new, I'm establishing my practice, and so networking and expanding my network is a huge piece. I want that to be 40 or 50% of my mix, right? You may be more established, and you may say, I want to do more listening, I want to hear more. And because your ideal client is on TikTok, right? No matter their age, I promise you, they're on TikTok, they're on Instagram, they're on Facebook. So you may choose to use the social media as a place to not only expand your network and meet your ideal client, but get to listening to your ideal client, okay? Networking is also building the relationships so that you can dig deeper and hear more of what their issues are. Okay, so I'm going to stop for just a second and give you some real life examples of content that I've seen that I believe would fit into your space. Okay, so pieces of content that would potentially fit into your space is, I saw a TikTok to a song of a woman reenacting finding another woman's underwear in her laundry, and she now is filing for divorce. Right? That is not saying that that's something you would want to reenact or do on TikTok yourself, but listening and being on that video and reading the comments and watching this person's content may give you more information on your ideal client. Okay? Anybody following me with that? Is that like making any type of sense at all? Is anybody there? Yeah, so did you hear the example I gave? Okay, yeah. So the example of, like I said, this woman is reenacting doing her laundry, and all of a sudden there's someone else's underwear in her laundry. And so being and following her journey and following the comments on her post can give you a lot of insight into your ideal client. And that's an example of social listening. Now, I know it also sounds like stalking, but it's permissible on the social medias. It's legal stalking, right? It's, I like I said, I've got 30 years of sales and marketing experience. So it's kind of like a big focus group where you can literally search hashtags and you can put keywords into TikTok, into Instagram, into Facebook, into YouTube, and you can begin to do some recon on your ideal client so that you can not only better speak to them on social media, but in real life as well. You can also, I'll get to that in a second, okay? So networking, listening, and influencing is the spreading of ideas. So I'm going to give you another example. And we're going to talk a lot about this because I think there's a whole lot of potential with the concept of newsjacking for your space, okay? So we all know about the big case and the verdict recently, Amber and Johnny. While that was not necessarily a divorce case, a lot of people who are thinking about divorce were following that case. And so the idea that spread from that was this idea of women can be the abuser and women can be toxic and dangerous in relationships, and that, the idea spread that this is the first time that, in court, a major court case has shown that or agreed with that or proven that, right? And so in influencing, you're going to do a lot of engaging with your audience. You're going to do a lot of educating your audience, energizing your audience, and empowering or inspiring your audience. And then a smaller portion, I would argue the smallest portion of your mix should be on selling to both new and existing customers. And it's important to highlight that because, well, unless you have, somebody who gets married and divorced frequently, you may also have other businesses. Because the way you're going to speak to a new customer and an existing customer is going to be very, very different. You're going to be able to build brand awareness through all of them. However, by the time you're selling, they should be very familiar with you, who you are, and they should fall in what I call know, like, and trust with you. Okay? So I'm going to move on to the next slide. If you have any questions there, we can definitely answer those at the end. Okay? So let's talk about strategies, okay? Because the first thing we need to do is we need to set our goals and our intentions. And every single post, you want to make sure before you make that post, you want to go back here and you want to say, what is the purpose of this post? What is my intention with this post? Am I looking to expand my network? Am I looking to create a space where I can listen? Okay? Are we looking to create a space where I am influencing and spreading ideas, or am I selling or promoting a product or an event? Okay? So when we talk about strategies, I use a lot of R's, okay? The first thing you're going to do is you need to research your ideal client. And you probably already know your ideal client very, very well, especially if you've been in business for some time. But start looking for them online. Either look at your existing clients, find them online and study their pages. Look at some of their friends and people who are similar to them, and even just put in keywords regarding your ideal client into Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and you'll be amazed at what comes up, right? Also, research market and industry trends. Is there some new law that's gone into place, or is there a new precedent that has been set recently? Research, what is trending on TikTok, what is trending on Instagram, what sounds are trending, and not only what sounds, look at the videos within that sound, and how can you take what the regular everyday person who's strictly on there for fun, how can you take what they've done and translate it into a message related to you building brand awareness, expanding your client base, expanding your, because basically what you want is for someone to go on TikTok and not necessarily be thinking about divorce today, but once they are, because statistically they're going to, they think of you, right? Does that sound like a fair statement? You want people to think of you when they think, unfortunately, oh, I've come to the end of the road and it's time to start looking at what I need to do to move forward and take the next step. Okay. And also current topics, like I just said, the herd and the Depp case. Now, I'm also going to put the caveat on here. Tamira is not an attorney. I did not pass the bar. I think I would pass out at the thought of taking the bar. So you know what you need to do to comply with your state and keeping your license. Don't do anything that is going to put that in jeopardy. I just want to, make sure I cover myself and I state that, okay? And so your research is going to be a huge piece, which also is what? Listening, right? We've got 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason, okay? The other strategy is definitely if you have any type of social media presence for some time. I do, beyond 2019, going back to like 2009, and I don't even remember my MySpace password, okay? But I've got nearly 10 years worth of content. I don't have to create a brand new piece of content ever again in my life. I should do a contest of guess how many videos and images are on my phone, like how they do, like with how many beans are in this jar, and you win a prize, because it would blow your mind to know how many videos and images are in my phone. So you can literally take existing content and you can reshare it. So if you have old videos, you can splice them up or pay someone on Fiverr, or a daughter or son or a niece and nephew, as I've done, and pay them to take and put key pieces, 10 seconds here, 20 seconds here, 30 seconds here, 3 minutes here, and make sure they're 9:16, and you can put those into YouTube Shorts. You can put those into Pinterest Ideas. You can put them on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram Reels, okay? Anybody have any old videos you think that you could do that with? I can't see you, so you might have to say hey or something. That's the horizontal is sideways, so that's vertical. Basically, the full size of the screen. That's what all TikToks, YouTube, Shorts, and that they're all long, not wide. It will work, but it will not be optimized. And optimization is key for more people to see it. So you could zoom in. You could use an app like InShot. It's like $2 for the year to remove their logo. And you could potentially zoom in, or you could put a background on it. But ideally, on all of those, the 9:16 format is going to win, because that's the what's called native format for the platform. And it's the first time since 2013-14 that all of the platforms are actually on the same specs, is because that's how powerful TikTok videos have been. Because before they all, it became a nightmare a few years ago. You'd have to do a different size for this, a different size for Pinterest, a different size for YouTube, a different size for Facebook, and they were all different sizes. And now 9:16, so you literally can take the same content, no logos on it, and put it on multiple platforms. Did I answer your question? You're very welcome. Okay, so you want it preferably to be 9:16, and if it's not, pull the audio. You can pull the audio off of there, and then you can go to Canva. You can, one of the things I like to do is I like to just take my phone and tripod and go in the backyard, or walking, because I live in a walkable neighborhood, and just might film myself walking down the street to different places, and not even the camera facing me, just me walking. And you can use that as what I call B-roll or background, and you can share tips. You can put memes over it. There's a lot of different things you can do, okay? So you can take your existing content and reshare it or repurpose it, which is, like I said, using InShot and extracting the audio and putting it over a background video and then taking that background video and putting text over it. So there's a lot of area to take content that you already have and actually pay someone else to do it, because you're busy and you're a lawyer. Unless you need that creative outlet like I do, you don't have to do it. Someone else can do it. You also can share other people's viral content, and ethically, because of things called duet, because of things called remix on Instagram, because of what's the other one? It's like Split It or something like that, where you can take a splice of someone's video, it shows like 10 or 15 seconds of it, and then it cuts to you and you're giving your take, you're giving your insight, you're giving your tips on the back end of it, or simply your commentary. Okay, I want to make sure everybody's following me on this, because I can show you some examples. Yes. In TikTok, what I would advise to do is go to YouTube and search creating TikTok videos, okay? Some TikTok tutorials, because you can layer both in TikTok and Instagram stories. You can layer things on top of each other. I'm old, so I always talk about the encyclopedia, and they had these transparent pages for where they would go over anatomy and how they laid over each other. And that's the best analogy I can give you for your content, where you can put these layers on top of each other using what's called stickers. And so you can use those stickers, and if you can't do it in the platform, you can do picture in picture in the InShot video. I just didn't want to do a lot of tutorials and give you more of the strategy, because the tutorials, you can go and find those on YouTube. That's how I learned. It is YouTube University, okay? And so you can use, I love that you can use other people's content. And one of my favorite things to do is green screen. I think green screen presents so much opportunity for your space, because it allows you to newsjack, like the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp case. You could take screenshots of things that you find online, of news articles, of the law. People have used Wikipedia. There are whole pages where all they do is they go to Wikipedia and read from Wikipedia. No cap, as the Gen Z would say, no lie. And they have hundreds of thousands of followers just by taking screenshots of Wikipedia and storytelling about people that we may have never heard of, but for some reason their story is on Wikipedia. Okay? And so you can do that with any newsworthy content that's out there, and it's a great way to build your audience and build an audience fast. Now, you want to be strategic, and you want it to be something that's related or relatable to what it is that you do, and building that brand awareness. Remember, it all needs to go back to building that brand awareness, so that if Sally, who got married 3 years ago, finds another woman's underwear and she's not willing to go to counseling, she's not willing to reconcile, she needs an attorney that she thinks of you, okay? And it's also a great way to not only re-energize your audience, but re-energize yourself. I get re-energized all the time by going back and looking at my content, because this is going to sound weird, but it reminds me how great I am at what I do. Okay? And you can do that as well, because you can share your social proof. You can share, again, within compliance, there's an attorney here locally, their TV commercials talks about how much they've earned, they've won overall for all of their clients, right? So anything that's brag worthy, you can make a TikTok and put that out there, and it's your happy folder for yourself as well. On those days when you're like, why am I doing this again? You can remember how great you are. It's the opportunity to share some behind the scenes. It's your opportunity for people to really get to know you, fall in like, trust, and know you. And how you do that is be you. You don't have to be the 22-year-old influencer of TikTok. You just want to be you and be vulnerable, okay? So some simple tactics, okay? TikTok, those stickers, right? So if you click on those stickers, you will be able to add polls. You'll be able to add quizzes. So not to beat a dead horse, but you could have done a poll and said, who do you think is going to win? Or who do you think is right here? Amber or Johnny, right? One of the ones I did was, what was the first movie that you ever saw Johnny Depp in? All right, okay? So being able to take something that's current, make it engaging, and get people talking, and more chances for your existing content to show up in their feed. Because I didn't mention that, but that's the great thing about TikTok, is a person doesn't have to be following you for them to for TikTok to show your video to them. And Reels is the same way. You're going to get the biggest reach when you use short form video right now. Okay. And so you can even make sure that you're reaching people in your area by using keywords in your caption, in your title, and in the audio of your video. Another way to engage is double tap if you agree. So if you put a quote up on the screen, you do that background video, like I said, and you put a quote image as a sticker on top of it. And, you know, it might be about living your best life. And you can say double tap if you agree. Drop an emoji if you agree. Type yes to affirm is a huge one, okay? And this one is definitely great for, remember, Instagram stories are short form content, and they have the ability to ask questions. So you can say, ask me anything, right? And then you can answer those questions. So it can start out in Instagram stories, and then you can take those stories and the questions that are in those, and then make your reel, your TikTok, your YouTube shorts. I feel like I'm just dumping so much, so I just need to know that y'all still with me. We're almost there. Everybody good? Okay, no problem. This education, I think, is a huge, huge, huge opportunity for your profession, okay? You can tie it into the engagement. You can give scenarios. I've seen drunk driving attorneys do this on TikTok. And there's a local segment on the news here where one of the radio DJs sits down with an attorney from a large office here, and he gives a scenario, and it's like, do you have a case or no case, right? And so you can do that as well with scenarios, and they can be based on, in my mind, again, you know your compliance, they can be based on cases you've actually had, right? You of course protect and de-identify everyone involved. You can do the tweet style, because you as an attorney automatically have built-in authority, because you are an attorney, because you went to school, you earned that degree, and you've got those letters behind your name. You automatically have authority. So you can go to Canva, you can put your picture there, your tweet name, and put JD and all your letters behind your name, and you can make statements. You can say things, right? They can be whatever. They can be your own quotes, and you can use those to educate people as well. Like, you know, myths versus facts is another one, and you can, you know, myths versus facts about what it really means, what common law really means, or what community property really means. Okay. And then a green screen, that's your social proof. That's where you can back up what you're talking about with either the I always want to say jurisprudence, and I don't even know what I'm talking about, but the law, you know, with the numbers and all that and the statutes, you can put those on the screen behind you to back you up. Okay. And again, educating on current events. There was an attorney who, what case was it? There was a big case in the last year or two, and every day she would go live as there was something big and breaking going on, and she would go live on TikTok and talk about it and give her commentary as an attorney. And then entertaining. Okay, so raise your hand if the idea of entertaining makes you want to vomit. Being entertaining, like, I'm with you, Holly. Like, this whole entertaining, I just don't think I'm that entertaining of a person. Like, you look up introvert in the dictionary and there I am being all introverty, right? So the way you entertain is easily the song. Adding music, ta-da, that's the entertainment. Does that make it easier, Holly? Just add a nice song to it, and you can turn down the volume a little bit, you know, and that's the entertainment, right? Doing memes. And you will find, as you create more and more of these short form videos and you keep researching and saving things that you want to do and implement, you will find yourself loosening up and being a little bit more fun and entertaining. But it takes a while. It takes a while, okay? So give yourself grace, give yourself some mercy, but that's all it takes. Memes and music, okay? It doesn't take a whole lot. You don't have to embarrass yourself. I always like to remind everyone of the customer value journey. This is how I have moved people from being complete strangers online to being members of my community, okay? People who have bought from me, who refer, to they become brand ambassadors, okay? And these are basically the types of the buckets of content that you want to create. You want to create content that connects. And how you do that is you're authentic and you're vulnerable. You can share stories of when you were in law school and what it was like, and even compare what being in law school is like today compared to when you were in law school, okay? You're going to create content that educates, entertains, and engages, and that content should have a call to action, okay? So how I teach people call to actions is actually based on attorneys. I've always said, you know, if you've ever seen a lawyer's commercial on TV, what do they always offer? A free consultation. They don't tell you what their retainer is. They offer a free consultation. So I want you to remember that you guys are the best at the call to action. You can put the call to action to be for a free consultation. You can make the call to action be to follow you, to turn on notifications so they know that when you go live, to share your content, to drop an emoji or visit the link in your bio. And that would definitely work with the free consultation. I also want you to understand that I am not minimizing your attorneyship when I say this, but you're bigger than that. You can start selling your own digital products and selling digital products once you've built your audience. You can go off in a whole other area. Like, I have a cousin who's like some big wig in the Air Force, and he's now, you know, he's in his 40s and he's thinking about retiring, and he wants to go to culinary school, right? So don't think that you have to confine yourself to what it is that you do. That's just why we're all here today. And the consultation, go offline. The sales are made offline. Sales are typically not made on social media. I just have to say that. And then create content for you know, existing customers, something that you can do. You can make recommendations is what you're doing, as well as getting new. And your community, your tribe, your people that follow you, you know, you can create merchandise, right? Everybody on TikTok may not need a divorce. They may not need you as their divorce attorney, but they may just really fall in like trust with you. And you can, you know, trademark a saying, put it on t-shirts, trademark a logo, and sell merchandise. There's really no limit to what you can do. The other C I would say that should belong on here should definitely be conversation. You want conversational content, and that really falls under engaging. Okay, so the main strategy is for people to feel seen, known, and heard, and that's where that conversational piece is involved. That's my signature presentation. Is conversation is the new lead. Just having conversations. When I go live on TikTok, things that I didn't think people wanted to know from me anymore still come up. Like I was live on TikTok recently and talking about something unrelated, and people started asking me about concealer. So what did I do? I came back the next day and I went live and talked about concealer to make sure that people feel seen, known, and heard. And that's why the research is so important, along with interacting with and responding to your ideal client. Comments and messages are gold, because once they start commenting and asking questions, that's your cue to say, you know what, this sounds like we really need to do a free consultation. Here's how you book that. Okay. And then I do have something for you all. If you are interested in having some templates for your Reels, TikToks, and that, I do have some very affordable, I think it's like $30 Reels that I am an affiliate of and that I use, that will help you pull it all together and make it super, super easy. It's all in Canva, so you can just let me know. And other than that, I will turn off my share screen and open it up for questions. Okay. It works. You can slowly build it. It does work better or faster when you put a lot of attention to it. It's like they say, the airplane gets off of the ground, you know, with a lot of momentum. Like that's why it runs down the runway. I would say 5 to 10 times is excessive. I would say 3 to 4 times a day is good. And that's where repurposing and resharing your existing content is going to be a godsend, because well, they recommend a day, but I think even if you did 3 to 4 times a week, that would be good. I really do. Yeah. Yeah, and it's going to be daunting at first, but once you really get a flow, develop your own flow and develop your niche, what clicks and works for you, it does tend to flow a lot better. And my number one tip is to batch create your content. Block out an hour or two on the weekend, just record it all, save it to drafts, and it's there, and then you can post it. You're very welcome. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. You know, I didn't realize that not everyone was an attorney, so I didn't mean to leave anyone else's profession out. But real estate does really well with video, with the drone footage and giving tips, and real estate is huge on short form videos as well. So how were the examples? I would love feedback on the examples that I gave. Is that something relatable? Does that make sense? What I'm saying with the examples I gave of suggested content to create. Which one was your favorite? Which one do you think you would use? And are you an attorney, or are you in real estate? Certified financial planner? Yeah, people need real advice, because I used to work in financial services, and there are a lot of people giving financial advice that shouldn't be giving it, especially online. And I know you too have compliance and things that you have to be concerned with. But yeah, I can even tell you some people to, I think it's Polished CFO is someone in my network who works in the finance space, and she talks about that all the time. Like y'all could not just Just because you start seeing it on TikTok does not mean it's true. So I think the myths and the facts is a good one. And for financial planning, you know, not necessarily related to divorce, but you know, tips on I don't want to say tips on crypto, but fact versus fiction with crypto, for example, because people don't realize some of the decisions that they're making are going to have implications come tax time, right? So different things like that. You know, I love the fact versus fiction for professional space, for professional spaces. I just did one the other day on just to, you know, get your juices flowing, your brain flowing, on what do you really need to be monetized on social media versus what you may think you really need. You don't need a large audience to monetize. You don't need 10,000 followers. You don't need a fancy camera and equipment to monetize yourself on social media. So fact versus fiction, or myth versus fact, are really good ones. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And there's like whole communities out there. One of the big things that has been going on social media, especially on TikTok, is kind of like, I remember when I was in grade school, it was the boys versus the girls. And TikTok is very much kind of that way right now. And so you can really get an idea of, you know, and I'm biased because my audience is primarily women, so I think everybody's audience is primarily women. And the majority of people on TikTok, for example, are women, but, you know, someone might have mostly male clientele as well. And, you know, so you can really get in to these communities. You know, there's all these talks, right? There's like divorce talk, there's spiritual talk, there's all these niches that are on TikTok that you can get in, and it will just keep showing you more and more of that kind of, or content related to that space. Because every now and then you'll see somebody post a video. I don't know how I got over on this side of TikTok, but this is what they're talking about over there.